think is it a little weird that kids now pattern their game after you, have your jersey? What's that like?
Yeah, it is. It's a little surreal because I remember when I was a little kid, and like I said, we were talking about, I grew up as a huge Barry Sanders fan, and Emmitt Smith and Eddie George, and some of the great running backs that played while I was a little kid. I idolized those guys growing up, and I didn't have enough money to buy their jerseys, but I had their cards, and I was big on saving cards and football cards, so I had all their cards. I remember I had like a little notebook full of cards.
Are you one of those? Are you one of those rare athletes?
I don't. Unfortunately, I wish I still had them.
Are you one of those rare athletes who kind of transcends genders when it comes to sports? A lot of women don't necessarily follow sports, but with Reggie Bush, they seem to, including my wife. Why do you think that?
Well, I think maybe a little bit can come from being at USC and being a little bit in the limelight down there, and some of the accomplishments that we made down there, and obviously going into my dating history. I think that probably has a little bit to do with it. But, I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a football player. I don't really have a Hollywood personality. I'm just a down-to-earth guy, and, I like to play football.
That fits in well in Detroit. Do you get the sense that's how Detroit is?
Yeah, I do. Detroit's a very, blue-collar, hard-working, industrial city. It seems like the people here are just, very hard workers and good people, good down-to-earth people, and that's the type of people I like, and I enjoy those type of people. So.
Are your workouts different now than they were when you first got in the league? You look like a lot bigger running back than maybe a lot of us might have expected.
I think my work ethic definitely has changed a little bit. Definitely I work harder, and just I've kind of taken things here and there from some guys that kind of mentored me into this game. And, so I definitely just learned, and it just comes with overtime experience. I definitely have the experience and definitely, like I said, learned from other guys, older guys when I was young in this league. And I think it's helped me. It's helped me a lot.
Has there been a young guy who's impressed you in this camp so far more than anybody else?
I think Theo Riddick, I think he's impressed me a lot. He's a really good runner. He's a really good natural runner, running back. And, when I was my first year in the league, I wasn't as good as a natural runner as he was. I was a good playmaker, but when it came to running between the tackles, it took me a couple of years to learn that. So he's really impressed me a lot.
How many have you met Barry?
Yes.
What has he told you about, since you've been a Lion, what's he told you?
Well, I haven't spoken to him since I've been a Lion,
okay.
But I'm going to get a chance to speak with him and sit down and talk with him.
And what's his message been to you? I mean, obviously you told me you were a big fan and everything.
Well, before I became a Lion,
sure.
I just spoke to him, just told him how big of a fan I was growing up, and I'm sure he hears that all the time. Yeah, he's a very humble guy, very down to earth, and that was something I already knew because of just when you hear people talk about Barry Sanders, you hear him talk about how humble he is and how down to earth he is and kind of how quiet.